Hello there guys, and welcome back to another Microsoft Flight Simulator video. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the DC Designs AV-8B Harrier II. I want to begin by thanking the guys over at JustFlight for providing me with a preview copy of the Harrier II to showcase here on the channel. It is worthwhile mentioning that DC Designs' development philosophy is not around creating study-level aircraft, but rather creating aircraft with sufficient level of complexity to create a challenging and fun experience in this sim. With that out of the way, let's get to it and let's take a look at the AV-8B Harrier II for Microsoft Flight Simulator. DC Designs have done a reasonable job developing the 3D model. It is quite representative of the Harrier II. There are several texturing imperfections on the aircraft exterior, as you can see here, notably on the engine covers and the canopy. Overall, in terms of the exterior modeling and texture work, I believe DC Designs have stepped things up a little bit from their Concorde model. In terms of the interior 3D cockpit, I believe DC Designs have definitely done a good job there. Reasonable texturing and 3D modeling, definitely a step up from their Concorde. It looks pretty good. All the switches and the knobs and the panel work is done to an acceptable standard in my view. Overall, in terms of the texturing and 3D model, I think DC Designs have stepped things up a little bit in this model, but they're not quite there yet in terms of creating, high fidelity models. The sounds aboard this aircraft are actually done pretty well by DC Designs. I'm not sure if they're recorded from the real aircraft, but they actually sound pretty good, and they have unique sounds. Each switch has a unique sound, as you can hear here, with the fuel pumps and what have you. And overall, pretty good in terms of the sounds, and the engine sounds of this aircraft are actually done quite well, which we will be listening to in just a moment as we start the aircraft from its cold and dark state. The canopy can also be open and closed, and you can remove the chocks and engine covers by clicking on those two little switches over here. And as you can see now, we have the engine covers removed and the chocks as well. You can set the aircraft load and balance in the conventional way, and in order to see some of the aircraft weapons and fuel tanks, you just simply need to change the payload here, as you can see. And if we change the fuel, then you can see the fuel tanks as well. Of course, for VTOL takeoff, we need to have the aircraft total weight below 21,000 pounds. So let's go ahead and reset that here to about 18%, and we're going to take the weight to about 27% so that we can perform a VTOL takeoff. Let us now start the aircraft from its cold and dark state and take it for a vertical takeoff from the aircraft carrier. We're going to head over to Key West International. We're going to land there and take off again, come back to the carrier and land. The canopy is closed, battery switch is on. We're going to move to the left side here and turn on the fuel pumps. The JPTL is in the on position. Oxygen can go to the on position, and everything else here is good. We're going to head over here and we're going to turn the generator and turn the APU gen, and this actually needs to be pushed up to start things up. So that's what we're going to do. And we're going to also put the engine start, and now the aircraft will start, as you can see. Now for the vertical takeoff, what we need is the flaps to be in the VTOL position. We need the VTOL master switch to be turned on, and the nozzle to be all the way down to 75 degrees. And then we'll be able to take the takeoff, just so that you can listen to the engine sounds. Listen to that. Very nice indeed. Obviously, a lot of things are still not implemented. And again, as a reminder, this is a preview version of the aircraft. We can turn off the APU gen off and close the canopy once more. All right, we're going to go ahead and taxi to the deck here, and parking brake is released. And let's go ahead and taxi. All right, we're going to turn the aircraft. We are now ready to perform the vertical takeoff. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to make sure that the VTOL master switch is turned on and the flaps are set to the VTOL position. As you can see here, we're going to take the nozzle all the way to 75 degrees there. And we are now ready to go. We're going to apply throttle until the aircraft lifts off the ground. We are now at sufficient altitude. What we're going to do now is we're going to start pushing the nozzle a little bit forward, as you can hear it, and you have to make sure that you don't do this all at once. So we're just going to wait until the aircraft gains a little bit of speed. We can now increase the nozzle. Alright, and we are looking good. We're going to wait for the aircraft to gain sufficient speed. The handling of the aircraft is actually pretty nice. I do like how it handles up in the air. We are looking good. And we're going to make our turn head over to Key West International Airport. We can now track the flaps. And Key West is now to our left, as you can see here. We're going to set our flaps for landing. Landing gear is coming down. And we have the runway in sight. Without a doubt, DC Designs have added that challenge element into this rendition of the Harrier. It's quite a fun aircraft to fly. Alright, we're going to take off once more from Key West and head back to the aircraft carrier. VTOL master switch is on and flaps on VTOL. And with full throttle again, as you can see, the aircraft lifts off the ground and we are good to go. And we can now put the nozzle forward a little bit and the aircraft is going to start moving forward. And let's head over back to the aircraft carrier, which is right there ahead of us. We're going to set our flaps for landing. Flaps are set for landing, and here is the aircraft carrier. It's going to slow down. The lighting of the Harrier II by DC Designs is done quite well in my view, especially during nighttime, both outside and inside the aircraft. Let's go ahead and take off and take a look. Overall, definitely a very immersive experience during nighttime, and I believe that DC Designs has really developed an aircraft that is fun to fly. It's quite a challenge to learn as well and requires a learning curve. They do fall behind in terms of the system simulation perhaps, but this is again a preview. The texturing and the overall 3D modeling definitely needs a little bit more work to make this aircraft even more immersive, but overall, good fun to fly. In closing, I'd like to reiterate my gratitude to the JustFlight team for providing me with a copy of the Harrier II to preview here on the QA Pilot channel. And as always, if you have any questions, please do post them in the comment section below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.